Funerals are often tense and formal. The air is filled with grief, silence, and etiquette. But sometimes, that very seriousness makes things ripe for the most unexpected moments. Today, we are going to dive into some of the most awkward, funny, and downright bizarre moments that have happened during funerals. Let's start at number 10. Have you ever heard a joke at a funeral? It can go either way. A well-timed joke can relieve the tension, but a bad one? That can lead to the most uncomfortable silence. Or worse, a misunderstanding. One Irish man, Shay Bradley, took funeral humor to another level. As his coffin was being lowered, a voice called out from inside. It screamed, "Let me out, it's dark in here." The mourners froze, but it was just Shay's prank. He had recorded the message before passing. After the shock wore off, the whole crowd burst into laughter. He even finished the message with a song saying, "I just called to say goodbye." Shay knew how to leave them laughing. Number 9 is about funeral music. Songs are emotional. They bring memories rushing back. But if the wrong song plays, it can ruin the mood. That's exactly what happened when someone accidentally played "Stayin' Alive" by the Bee Gees. Instead of Choppin', this disco hit blasted at full volume. The brother of the deceased fainted during his eulogy. The song was on the music guy's playlist from a CPR class earlier that day. When he plugged his phone into the speaker, the song picked up right where it left off. Still on music, one woman actually paid for a flash mob to dance to "Another One Bites the Dust" at her funeral. Sometimes, people choose humor even in death. At number 8, we have uncontrollable laughter. Psychologists call it manic defense. It is a way of coping with something too intense. A Reddit user once shared that a woman fell into a grave while throwing in a rose. A relative grabbed her ankle to save her. The laughter that followed made someone leave the cemetery in tears. It can be hard to keep a straight face when something unexpected happens, especially if you are not that emotionally close to the deceased. That awkward line between respect and reflex. Number 7 brings us to doves. Releasing a dove is symbolic. It shows the soul rising to peace. But what happens when the dove cannot fly? At David's funeral, the pastor quoted him and released the dove. But instead of soaring, it hit the ground. Hard. People gasped. Then someone said, "He didn't fly. The dove died of stress." Awkward is an understatement. Coming in at number 6 is getting the name wrong. That might sound impossible, but one family paid for a funeral only to see the wrong name on the coffin. Not just any name. It was the name of the deceased son. The family laughed at first, but later they wanted a refund. They went to the press when they were only offered a small compensation. It was a mix of comedy and frustration. At number 5, the mistake is much worse. Wrong body. A family opened the coffin and saw a stranger, dressed in their loved one's clothes. When they complained, the funeral home argued with them. They said it was the family's mistake. It had to go to court. In another case, 2 men with nearly the same name were swapped. One had no family. The mix-up was only discovered after the funeral. Then there is the body spill. That's number 4. One coffin made of canvas split open during a procession. The body fell out. People screamed. Others looked away. The video went viral online. Even wrapped in a shroud, it was horrifying. In another story, a pallbearer fell onto a coffin and broke the lid. The body was exposed in front of everyone. During COVID, undertakers tried to cut costs and use shared straps. One strap snapped. The coffin dropped and burst open. Number 3 is straight out of a movie. In Thailand, a man married his dead girlfriend at her funeral. He placed a ring on her finger. They had been planning to marry, but she passed in a car accident before it could happen. The video went viral, but legal experts said the marriage was not valid. Still, it was a powerful gesture of love. It may have been awkward, but it was also deeply moving. Number 2 is about confessions. One preacher in Uganda decided the funeral was the right time to confess his affair. The woman he confessed about was in the front row with her husband. When she tried to leave, he shouted her name. In Connecticut, a pastor confessed to adultery in front of his church. The shock was too much. He had a heart attack and died. A confession that turned into his own funeral. Finally, number 1 is something no one ever expects. A pornographic video playing at a funeral. It was meant to be a tribute to a father and his unborn child. But someone messed up the video file. The Reverend did not see it at first. People ran up to stop it, but not before several minutes had passed. It was devastating, especially since the widow was present. The entire crowd was left traumatized. Funerals are meant to bring closure. They are solemn and emotional, but sometimes they take a detour into the absurd. These awkward moments may make us laugh or cringe, but they remind us that even in death, life finds a way to be unpredictable. If you enjoyed this video and want to support our channel, consider making a donation. Every contribution helps us bring more thoughtful and interesting content to you. Thank you for watching,